All right, listeners. This is take 3 of starting this podcast again.
Wait, we're in hot. Remember that? Do they still do that?
Yeah. That's how Moyles do it down here. Like they feel like if your parents anoint you to become a producer, they put your foreskin between the director thing, and then a guy, like a big beefy guy, gets it off. But I'm from San Francisco, so they had a crab fisherman do it to me. So that I go to the seas.
None of this is true. This is awful.
This is all true. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz is in Los Angeles.
Hello. Hollywood Liz. You should have seen her earlier today. Are you familiar, listeners, with Batman? What are you talking about?
Liz is down here as a Batman fanatic.
What?
We've been strolling up and down Hollywood Boulevard, looking at the various Batmen there. And I ended up paying $50 for a guy to actually convince her he's the real Batman.
Yeah, and he was real Batman.
They shared a moment
Not
together.
Bruce Wayne, but Batman.
No, Bruce Wayne's fake.
Yeah. That's what people don't get about Batman. Batman's the real guy. Bruce Wayne, fako.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course, a Batman would want to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
No one ever thinks.
It's all in his head.
Reverso.
But Liz is down here, and we're painting the town freaking red.
Yeah.
With coronavirus, because we've been going out maskless. Neither of us vaxxed, of course. Being like, this bar is great. How much is it to get in? Free? Okay. Hold on. Here's my idea. No, don't worry. I'm vaccinated. And then I'm going up to chicks and being like, I do a fucking podcast. Yeah, no. Wait, can you turn it down? It's about Jeffrey Epstein. Here, give me a. And then when they turn around, Liz hits him with a cough.
None of this is true. This is so awful. Don't say this.
But I'm so glad to see you.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.
So here's the thing. We joke.
Yeah.
But it's true. I'm here.
Yeah, Liz is sitting across from me, just like in old. Actually, you know what? In old times at Young Chomsky's house, I had to sit on the couch and you had to sit on the bed, and so we couldn't even look at each other. This is actually an improvement.
We're actually looking at each other.
I'm looking straight at you.
My eyes, honestly, right up there. My eyes are up here, Brace.
I can see through you.
I can see into your soul. Like, how when George Bush said that about Putin?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm feeling with you right now.
Yeah. Catch-22. My people don't have them. Mennonites.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Do you even need an introduction? I'm freaking Brace. Get real.
Can you imagine if you just started saying that? I'm freaking Brace.
Sorry.
God, I would punch you in the face.
Welcome to TrueAnon, but I'm freaking Brace.
Oh my God, I want to punch you so hard.
You can't though, because despite this table not being that big, Liz doesn't have very long arms.
Oh, it's true.
I could easily dispatch you from my position.
A little short stack.
Yeah, I could take you out.
Yeah, because you got Stretch Armstrong arms.
No, I would do it with my mind.
You got extendoids.
I'm joined here.
That's my post-human idea, extendoids.
That's what you want to do?
So they're called extendoids. My friend and I came up with this like years ago, by the way.
This is definitely not your original idea.
Yeah, but you just put it's limb extensions.
Yeah.
And they're called extendoids.
Okay, yeah, that's just the guy from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but it's not superhero. It's like for real.
It's human. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll take it. I never really need to grab anything bad. I'm joined here by my very best friend in the entire world, who I'm overjoyed to see, Marcos, who's in the other room. But Liz is also in the in the living room, and boy, what a studio we have today! So much soundproofing and Mountain Dew.
It's hot in here.
Young Chomsky lives in the computer right now, but I will see him soon.
Yes.
And the podcast is called TrueAnon, Live and Dangerous.
Yeah, hello. It's not called Live and Dangerous.
Is TrueAnon apostrophe
Live and Dangerous?
No.
Sorry.
Apostrophe, sure.
I'll say why not?
That's very weird. Yes, here. Hello, Los Angeles. It's nice being here in person with you, Brace.
It is a freaking damn pleasure. It's been like 5-6 months.
No, it hasn't. We did this before in San Francisco.
What do I look like? A goddamn fucking history book?
You don't even remember.
No. You know what? Memories are fake.
Here's the thing. We have been in the throes of a JFK-a-thon.
Mm-hmm.
That is finishing up this week. We have the final episode this week. Very excited about that.
There was a lot of contention behind the scenes if we should keep putting the slash question marks as in the title. I was outvoted 2-1.
Yeah.
And we are.
Yeah. So, yeah, I won that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the whole thing was to keep him guessing, and then you just told him. But okay.
So we have a little bit of a looser episode today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, we kind of broke our brains going through that. And on the occasion of me being back here, we're going to do a little bit of navel gazing.
Yeah.
If our listeners would indulge us, because
can you do it from there? Is my computer blocking?
It is. Thank God your computer's blocking.
Okay.
I don't want to look at that. That's not what I meant.
Literally just said to do that. But okay.
So a little bit of a kerfluffle. Is that right? Kerfluffle?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly a kerfluffle.
Yeah. So an argument was brought to our attention online having to do with this podcast.
Yeah.
There's been a fight broke out on wikipedia.com. Are you familiar with this website?
Oh, very familiar.
Yeah.
So I do 100% of the research for this podcast.
Yeah. There was like some, yeah. So a fight broke out over some nicknames.
Yeah.
The Brace Belden Wikipedia page, there's a war, I would say.
Yeah, looks like it. We were alerted to this by a couple of readers. And boy, I guess they can, when you're like editing Wikipedia, you talk to other people and sometimes you argue with other people, it looks like.
Here's the thing. I don't know anything about Wikipedia other than it's 100% true and that you can believe anything you read on it.
Literally the second line in early life of mine is not true.
Yeah, like I said, it's all true. So I didn't know that this kind of thing happened, but okay. So to our listeners of the podcast, perhaps you've heard Brace, we have this running bit on the show. We're talking about Brace's many nicknames. He's got a lot of nicknames.
I've been around a lot. Want me to hit you with some of them?
Well, yeah, as of recent, what are we talking about?
Well, I had to go into the past Wikipedia things for this, but this is all true nicknames. People have called me these things at various parts of my life. Sometimes I have also called myself these things.
I mean, some of them you made up for yourself.
That's not
But that
true.
doesn't make it not a nickname.
But my nicknames in the Wikipedia thing, we got the Salamander, Mr. Slithers. Those two are pretty interconnected. The Dark Cowboy, which is more of a...
That's a classic. That's a character.
Thing is, that's an alter ego. That's not a nickname. The Gay Pussy Eater.
Hold on. That's also an alter ego.
Yeah, the Gay Pussy Eater?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like that's double Patreon. Dryhole Belden. Kind of related to the above. Mr. Fireworks.
I like Mr. Now, Mr. Fireworks is actually one of my favorites because I think it's got a real classico taste to it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like an Alfredo sauce of a nickname.
I have fireworks on me right now. Well, not like on my body, but in the other room. The crypto snake, which is true. Barstool Bellingcat Belden, which
that's about the podcast.
Yeah, and because that's the thing. Here at TrueAnon,
we're one part Bellingcat, one part Barstool.
All heart.
Exactly.
And they're racial Jake, and then our problems began when, in full compliance with Wikipedia's Nazi rules, the Transylvanian cocksucker, which actually they did misspell. It's just regular cocksucker, not cocksucker in this, but whatever.
That could be the source of the confusion.
Exactly. It was removed. And in fact, they removed all of my nicknames and then locked my Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I think that some of the cops, fascists, the pigs at Wikipedia have gone too far. But what Little Gumshoe sent us was actually the argument, the back and forth between... I mean, are they editors, mods? How do you refer to these people?
A little bit of both.
Okay. And I just, I need to just read some of this out because it truly is an incredible exchange.
Oh, it's insane.
And I'd like to put it out there for everyone to know about. So this is, it looks like this is a back and forth between user Novum Lingua. Is that correct?
Yeah. Pause.
And Tim Tam Flim Flam.
Okay, liking this guy.
Yeah, I'm team Tim Tam Flim Flam.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. What's the story with all his nicknames in the info box? Why does he have 14 nicknames? Some of them pretty vulgar, like Da Gay Pussy Eater and Transylvanian Cocksucker, and only 3 of them have citations to reliable sources. These extra nicknames strike me as unencyclopedic and a violation of WPBLP. I don't know what that is. I've gone through and deleted the nicknames without reliable secondary sources a couple of times, but over time, IPs add them back. Thoughts? And then there's, let's see, Tim Tam Flim Flam says, there's nothing in violation here. I am a longtime Wikipedia user, and I wrote the Wikipedia page for the Herodotus machine.
Must be a prog rock band.
Don't know what that is. Coincidentally, I am a TrueAnon listener. By the way, shout out to Tim Tam Flim Flam. And for whatever reason, Brace has a lot of nicknames.
Correct. Yes.
He is a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but half of these nicknames come from the war.
Yeah, dude. I earned the nickname the Crypto Snake. Actually,
I think that was actually in Iraq.
No, that was in the Lebanon. That was in 82 in Lebanon.
Oh my God. He fought fascism. Okay, let's not get to.
Yeah. I am a fascist.
Okay. No, crypto fascist.
Yeah.
That's the Crypto Snake part.
Of course, yes.
He has people on the show who have known him at different points in his life. I don't know if that's true, but I have known you at different points in your life.
Absolutely.
I think it is totally reasonable that he goes by many different names. I also agree.
Mm-hmm.
He just had an episode released where a new nickname was used. My suggestion is lock the page until the 20th. And so long as an episode is cited, let the nicknames stay. Some of the nicknames removed were jokes, but a good number of them were cited and actually used by Brace's loved ones, comrades in arms, and rabid fans.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3 genders.
My dad's the one who calls me the Transylvanian Cocksucker.
It's a family name.
Yeah.
I volunteered to gatekeep what is a real nickname and a fake nickname. I have avoided editing this page because I'm a fan, but first and foremost, I'm a Wikipedia boy. I think that was quite judicious, by the way. Please bear with me, but I'm a bit confused about the source being used to cite these alleged nicknames. Am I correct in saying that, quote, TrueAnon is some kind of conspiracy theorist podcast?
Wrong. We're a true crime podcast.
A conspiracy theorist podcast would not be considered a reliable secondary source on much of anything. First of all,
what?
Bias alert.
I'm sorry. No. Here, let me lay a couple things out for you. We're not a left-wing podcast. We are not a conspiracy theory podcast. We are a true crime podcast for 36-year-old white women paralegals. If you are not that,
stop listening.
Yeah.
Okay?
We would not be able to accept a litany of nicknames cited to such a disreputable source. Novum lingua, I see you.
The hell with you.
Now, Tim Tam Flim Flam continues. I'm sorry. I assumed you were familiar with the topic we were discussing. Well, I like the little attitude. Brace Belden is one of the hosts of TrueAnon. Liz Franczak really runs the whole thing. That's right.
I'm sorry.
We already said Team Tim Tam Flim Flam, so can't take it back. No take backsies.
Well, we didn't say that. You said that, but
Mr. Belden has a segment or something.
I want to make something very clear to you, Tim Tam Flim Flam.
Nothing to be clear. He's got everything perfectly correct.
This is not true. Yeah, my segment is the one that everyone likes. It's the part where I talk.
That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have only listened to a fleeting amount of episodes. Okay. But as I understand it, when they interview someone and a nickname is reminisced about, the source is Brace Belden himself. 9 out of 10 confirmed by the people he's speaking with. Yeah, I confirm it.
Absolutely.
The source of most of these nicknames are autobiographical in nature. I really don't understand why a podcast host has a Wikipedia page myself.
Okay. Well, I had one before the podcast, so...
Yeah, I think that's weird too, Brace.
I don't think that's... I think that's fine.
I think it's weird.
People like it.
Did you start it?
No, I didn't. I've never done anything to it. Here's the thing. People like it when you're at a bar by yourself at 4 p.m. with a giant iPad looking at your own Wikipedia page. Listen, fellas, if you want to get ladies, dual wield iPads with your Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a fucking. I mean, it's like a lighthouse.
Additionally, this discussion pertains to Wikipedia's rules concerning the encyclopedic nature of biographical pages. It is not encyclopedic to include the words of the subject themselves. I don't quite understand where the animosity is coming from, resourcing Belden's nicknames. Now, this is what got me, because this is the next comment. Thanks for removing your comment accusing me of being anti-Semitic. What happened here?
We'll never know.
Anyway. Basically, it goes on. Apparently, I guess the Transylvanian cocksucker.
Yeah.
That really crossed the line for novum lingua, which I say, loosen up. Lighten up.
Yeah. Well,
what's the big deal?
Here's the thing.
Is he homophobic? Does he have a problem with
Jews? My computer just turned itself off. I don't know. It's back on here. Here's the thing. I've been called a lot of things in my life. Mr. MacBook, Donald Trump Jr. Senior.
Remember the band Junior Senior?
Nasty Rick, and Timothy McGay. But and I hang out with a diverse group of very, young teenage boys who teach me about slang and Fortnite stuff. And I don't think it's cool at all that a guy who doesn't even know what a Transylvanian cocksucker is, because that's not just a nickname, that's a fucking title, is going to come in there and try to ruin my life and fuck up when I talk to people at bars.
Anyway, this whole thing was very funny.
Ridiculous. So here's the thing. I need you all to create 14 more Wikipedia pages for me.
Yeah, we need some secondary sources out there to confirm.
Exactly.
So wait, I know for a fact that some sad sack little blue checkies out there, aka journalists, enemy of the pod, are listeners. Now, we need people to write some stories. Do you work for the New York Times or the Washington Post? I'm talking, we need big papers.
Yeah. Do you work for freaking Brooklyn Vegan? Because if you do, don't call. Not a real website.
You work for the New York Times. I need you to write a piece that says Brace Belden is a Transylvanian cocksucker.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to say anything else in it. That's just what I just want that. Okay. So yeah, listen up. And you know what? I'll pay you in doll hairs. And yeah, it's a real job.
Yeah.
You know what? We actually do have a show for you guys today.
This was part of the show.
I know, but we have a show for you today. We're going to kill somebody live on the radio. I don't know if I'd mentioned this before, but my dad, and this is not a joke, was present, although not a participant on either side. I want to make that extremely clear, but this is not a bullshit story. My dad was present at the first on-air blowjob in San Francisco.
Wait, what?
I think he was just like in the engineering room. Like behind the glass.
What do you mean on air? What is this?
Like a guy. Well,
was this a thing?
Well, but not before then.
Well, no, but why did they? Who did this?
Radio host? I don't know. It was the 70s or 80s. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And also, you just found yourself at a bunch of porno shoots.
I found myself at one porno shoot.
There was another one.
No, there wasn't another one. You don't think there was? You're just saying that to be mean to me.
No, I thought there was another one.
No, I will tell you right now, 100%, cross my heart, never hope to die actually, but I did, no. I was at one and I left out soon because it grossed me out.
You didn't leave that soon.
So we're talking about Bill Gates today, but first, we got a little Ghislaine Maxwell news roundup. This is a classic TrueAnon episode.
I don't know what that means. All our episodes are classic.
We used to do roundups. We're rounding up right now, like the Dark Cowboy does to his evil steers.
Okay. Well, I want to say that I said to Brace a while ago, I think
you're the most talented man I've ever met.
But I have my fingers crossed behind my back. No, I said I think that the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is going to be delayed.
Yeah, we both said that.
No, you said, I don't think so.
That's fake.
Oh, it's real. You're blushing.
Fake news.
I can see you.
No, you can't see me.
Oh my God. You're blushing.
She was right.
I was right. It
First
has been,
time in history. It's been delayed.
It's been delayed. It looks like November 29th, which feels very late.
That's so late. That's like 2 days before
Christmas.
winter.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a break for Christmas, I bet.
Yeah. So it's like, really, we're talking about what we get like 1 week of December of trial. And
Insane.
Then everyone's got the holiday parties because of work. Everyone's back in the office.
Are they?
Yeah.
I guess we are.
So, the whole thing's what a disaster. What
ridiculous.
A mess.
So
anyway,
we will be there.
We haven't told people that yet.
Should we?
Well, Mr. Beans just spilled everything.
Yes. We will be there. And
yes, we are covering the Ghislaine Maxwell trial of the century.
And this is going to be a great excuse for Liz and I both to wear all fur, real fur, to the courtroom.
In New York, you can wear real fur.
Why would I know that or care about that?
I just, I feel like it's kind of gauche in other places, like in the Bay Area. You can't get away with a fur coat.
Yeah, because it's like never more than never. It's never cold.
Yeah, and in LA, everyone's vegan. You can't do it. So.
Also, it's LA. It's warm.
But in New York, they let you do it.
Oh. Well, and then there's another picture. Well, not another. I mean, the first picture of Ghislaine Maxwell's not so smiling face has emerged from the old Hoos gal. And let me tell you, this bitch looks terrible.
Okay, wait. You know what I just realized? Do you remember when Jonathan Chait posted the photo of his eye? I don't know if it was like being infected or what on Twitter. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
This is what Ghislaine looks like.
Horrible.
It's a horrible angle.
It looks like she took it from like one of those phones you get in prison when some smoke goes up their asshole.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Not great. It's definitely not the new iPhone.
She has a black eye in the photo.
It's not really a black eye.
I know, it's not really. It's like a small bruise underneath her eye.
It's weird too. It's like, how did that get there?
Well, she must have walked into a door.
No, because okay, I've had a black eye. That is not where you get a black eye if someone.
No. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. No, all right. I've also had black eyes, and she got it, so she's sane from her homemade sleep mask.
What does that even mean?
I guess maybe she's using a belt, like a large belt.
Homemade sleep mask.
Don't ask me, brother. But I know that she wears a sleep mask, and apparently her lawyers are saying she doesn't quite know how she got it, but she thinks it's on the homemade sleep mask. One of Ghislaine's big complaints about jail, is that she gets flashed by the guards a lot. Like they're because that's what they do. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't want to get checked up on all the time, maybe your other pedophile that you hung out with and did everything with shouldn't have fucking died in prison. I'm sorry. Like it's, buy the ticket, take the ride, reap the whirlwind, baby.
Yeah, I mean, so she's got the sleep mask on because she's always getting checked up on for suicide watch, whatever, murder watch.
They just like flash it. I mean, from what I remember, they just flash it on the ceiling. Tick, 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 tick. I don't even know if they do it in your eyes.
They're lazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she's saying that she didn't notice it on a mirror because she's like implying that she's denied mirrors, which no woman ever should be. But by catching her reflection on a nail clipper. So Ghislaine was probably knee up to her fucking titty, clipping her disgusting long fucking 3-inch goddamn toenails, and saw her hideous visage reflected in that and screamed.
Like punched herself in the face.
Oh no, I think was just like I have a black eye.
Oh.
But she's using that and all of her other tortures that she says she's undergoing in jail to apply, I think, for bail again.
Yeah. She's back in the courts, I think today.
This is either the 4th or the 5th attempt.
But you know what? We were talking about this pre-recording, and I gotta say, if you've got a family that isn't doing this,
yeah,
I feel for you.
Yeah, because her brother is like, fuck it, I'm Team Ghislaine.
Well, yeah.
The other ones have been more low key, but the brother is just like Ian is.
Yeah, we covered his website and his Twitter account.
Yeah, he's like, I need my sister to get out, which is.
I'll say, looking at the court drawings from her appearance, it does look like they're denying her a mirror.
Yes, yeah.
Homegirl does not look good.
I know. They got to get me in there.
But But the big news this week.
I don't know if I can do this.
But it wasn't this week, was it?
Was
it last week? 2 weeks ago? The big news of the weeks.
17 days ago.
Look, we've been busy.
We've been busy.
Billiam Gates
has died.
He's died. He and his wife Melinda, they've died. Filed for divorce.
Yes. I'll tell you, like, growing up, like, I didn't have a lot of role models. There wasn't a lot of like things modeled for me to like be like, you know, this is how you're a good man. This is how you treat a woman. This is how you're in a relationship. This is how you like, this is your love language and kind of stuff like that. I didn't know what love language was until like 4 months ago when I looked it up. And Bill and Melinda, by spreading like experiments on people in third world countries, by getting really rich and then funding TV shows and movies about how charter schools are good, by not sleeping in the same bed, and Bill Gates trying to email women to see if they'd come and give him a furtive hand job in his Maserati.
Okay.
That to me was like
gonna let you keep going and see how long.
I couldn't do Maserati?
I don't know. It's too much.
Okay. Well, Bill and Melinda Gates are divorced.
They're not divorced.
They
are getting a divorce. Yeah, May 3rd. Bill and Melinda, they both post this on their Twitter accounts. Everyone does this. It's like Notes app. You gotta. This is Drake's biggest contribution to the world. Is fucking Notes app apology style, and I gotta say, I don't like it.
I mean, it's just a statement.
After a great deal of thought and a lot of work on our relationship, we have made the decision to end our marriage. Over the last 27 years, we have raised 3 incredible children and built a foundation that works all over the world to enable all people to lead healthy, productive lives. We continue to share a belief in that mission and will continue our work together at the foundation, but we no longer believe we can grow together as a couple in this next phase of our lives. We ask for space and privacy for our family as we begin to navigate this new life. Beautiful. That is not happening.
Well, yeah, it's not happening because Melinda went on the goddamn offensive. And here's the thing. Here's the
You know how you know
thing.
They're into green energy?
Why?
Bitch went nuclear.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know if that qualifies as green energy.
Nuclear's green.
Well, I know, but I think
it's the only green that works.
I'm pro-nuclear. Don't get me wrong.
Don't tell progressives.
Well, so there's 2 sides to every story. So I found out from people that I know that know Bill is that actually they divorced because he was adhering a little too closely to something called the Assassin's Creed, but his story hasn't been getting out there. Melinda, however, has basically from like day one been fucking leaking. And a little background on their marriage too. I mean, they said they've been married for 27 years. They've been married since 1994. He was her boss. Apparently they were working in the autism division at Microsoft. No, can't say that. Okay, well, keep that in. And she is, been by his side, a very prominent member of the foundation, obviously the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But just 3 days after their divorce was announced, like a ton of articles, including one in the Daily Beast called, and wonder where this came from, Melinda Gates warned Bill about Jeffrey Epstein, hit the fucking pages. And they are everywhere.
Dude, they're everywhere. It's so funny. You Google Bill Gates and it's just like bam, 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 bam. New York Times, Washington Post, Daily Beast, tabloid, like everyone chatting, new details emerging about, I don't know, him sexually harassing, which whoopsie, him having an affair,
multiple maybe, or trying to have multiple affairs.
It seems like trying, which is like, you know what I gotta say, if she's the one, which I do think she is the one planning these stories,
100%.
And we'll get to that in a second, but I love that the angle is that he tried to have affairs, not that he did have affairs.
Yeah, and apparently very email-centric affair
twist
guy.
Of the knife.
Yeah. So the big thing has been though the Epstein stuff, and right. I think we have covered this. I'll be honest with you, listeners.
Ooh.
We have covered this to some extent.
It's been a long time,
and I'll be real. I can't remember what we said.
Here's the thing. We had some time to look it up. We didn't.
I don't, dude. I did. I Googled TrueAnon.
You Googled the fuck. Why didn't you just ask me?
Because I did, and you didn't know.
I just told you what you were like. I was like, oh, it was the episode where we
fucking
talked about
figure out
this.
what episode that is. We can take 5, and you can fucking figure it because you can't. I can't either.
Keep talking. I'll find it.
So I Googled it, and then there was a Reddit link that's dead, and but they'd like linked to another episode that didn't seem to be that episode. Listen, I can't really fucking fully remember, but some of the stuff I know we talked about, because I know we talked about the Boris Nicholas stuff. I'm pretty sure we talked a little bit about Melanie Walker, but because now our podcast has been picked up by Spotify Premium, which thank you, Joe Rogan. I mean, to the rest of you, but just Joe to me. Look,
was it the one about the MIT lab?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that must have been it. But Epstein and Gates supposedly,
I think that was less than 5 minutes.
First met, that was 7 minutes, in 2011, which is just a couple of years after Epstein got let out of jail. And this was, of course, during Epstein's period of scientific cultivation when he was trying to surround himself with the Marvin Minskys of the world and various nerdarios. But they were introed by a pair of people named Boris Nikolic and Melanie Walker. Boris Nikolic,
we've talked a lot about
him, a big Gates Foundation guy, kind of a really, I'll be honest with you, a goon's name. And I don't want to be Slavophobic here. I'm partially one of you guys too, but Boris is a goon name.
It's fine. I'll take it.
Okay. And Melanie Walker, although probably knew each other before then. I know there was an article that Whitney Webb dug up a while ago at the beginning of the Epstein stuff in the Evening Standard. It mentions in passing that Epstein was saying that he got his money by working with Gates and a couple of other billionaires.
Yeah, and this is from 2001, which is very intriguing. I think Whitney said that she has a book coming out about Gates and Epstein, which is very interesting, and about how their relationship actually goes back much, much, much further than any of the lamestream news media will report.
Very interested in reading that. But definitely their latest intro looks like it was lubed up by one Melanie Walker Sinofsky. So a little background on her. She actually met Epstein. I know we talked about her before, but I mean, Christ, we got a lot of new listeners and might as well do a fucking.
And we don't remember.
I also can't remember. I just remember I was like, I don't remember reading.
I know we did, but
So she met Epstein in 1992 after graduating from University of Texas, my alma mater. Go fucking, yeah. You didn't know I went to UT?
No, I'm thinking of what the animal is.
Go Bucks.
No.
Go Devils? Longhorns. Go Longhorns, yeah.
That's right.
Go Longhorns. Go Horns. And he moved her into the East 66th Street building.
Ooh.
Now, you might know that building as being not only one on East 66th Street, but the one that he co-owned with his fucking freak brother, Mark Epstein, where they housed everything from adult sex slaves to child sex slaves.
And I believe also features in a new film by Dasha Nekrasova.
It absolutely does. What, the Scary of 66th Street?
That sounds right.
Lots of famous people's girlfriends came from that building, including one Kimball Musk's girlfriend.
Yeah, Kimball, the fucking dumbass bro of Elon.
And I have been doing some deep research on him in his home.
Upcoming episode.
He'd promised her a modeling job with Victoria's Secret, which must sound familiar to anybody at all, even slightly familiar with the Epstein stuff. And it looks like she just kept a pretty close connection with him. She moved to the West Coast and went to medical school, then went to Harvard to go to the medical school, which is also where Nikolic went. And in 98, she becomes Epstein's science advisor, that's
a fake thing.
Dark title there.
Yeah, dark title, fake thing.
But she seemed to be the girl that Epstein kind of pimped out to his friends because Prince Andrew was reported as having been seen quite a few times with her. And she met him in 99. And actually, there is a report in the Daily Mail, which is, of course, a classic source for some of this stuff.
That's one of our favorites.
Where a former housekeeper at Zorro Ranch named Deidre Stratton said that she and Andrew, that's Miss Walker, and Andrew stayed there, and that Melanie Walker came in, and, I'll read the quote. At the time Jeffrey had this, why am I saying it like that? At the time Jeffrey had this, she supposedly was a neurosurgeon, quite young, beautiful, young and brilliant, and she stayed in the home with him. At one point, we had all these different teas, and you could pick the teas that you wanted, and she asked me to find that one that would make Andrew more horny. Which, are there teas that do that?
I think so.
Because I have this thing called Mikey Miles disease where, like, it's, well...
What?
Let me just say the plane's out of gas.
I think that the tea stuff is real. That's real.
Uh-huh. She's like, we need to get this guy some fucking horny goat weed.
I don't think that's what
she gets married off to bad boy Microsoft executive Steven Sinofsky in the early 2000s and moved to Seattle.
By the way, I want to say this is weird. So all of this came out, people might remember, in 2019 when Epstein was first arrested, and then all this Bill Gates stuff started coming out about his relationship with Epstein.
Picture him and Epstein, Larry Summers.
Yeah. Which, by the way, lamestream news media, know you're listening, you fucking sickos. When are we going to get Summers?
We got to get Summers.
You're going after Bill Gates because Melinda's calling you. We got to get Larry Summers in.
Is there a Mrs. Larry Summers?
He's a crook.
We need to get this guy divorced.
Yeah. Anyway, so all this is coming out in 2019, and in one of the New York Times pieces, this is so weird. It doesn't mention that Melanie and Steven are married.
Yeah, she said she lives with him.
But no, they're married.
They're married.
They're like fully like they
married.
like do it like
I like
people.
spent like 45 minutes yesterday trying to figure out if they were divorced.
No,
they're married.
Not. They're married.
Yeah. And like she's pretty big now. Like she is the co-chair of the World Economic Forum, which actually, you know what? The young Chomsky hit me with a brace noise.
Damn.
Haven't used that one in a while.
We haven't. You know what? That's a great throwback for a throwback episode.
Absolutely. She is the co-chair of the World Economic Forum's Future Council on Neurotechnology and Brain Science. So that's when, I don't know if you guys have seen Ready Player One. I have not, but that's when they do whatever they do in that movie.
You know, Ready Player One is coming.
Like the movie? It came out like 4 years ago.
No. Remember? Okay. Like they're actually doing, like it's coming.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Just some insider knowledge, guys.
I showed Liz that they do concerts in Fortnite and it blew her mind.
No, I'm serious.
I know. We've talked about this, but you can't talk about it on the show, so I don't know why you keep alluding to it.
I could talk about it a little bit.
Okay. Well, do you want to?
No, I just...
Okay. She's all over the place. World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, World Bank. She's a piece of
all
shit.
All over the world.
And she's had like a lot of different positions at all of these places.
Yeah.
Zero professional repercussions for being very close to a pedophile for many years.
No, of course not.
But apparently she was sort of the person that set up this first meeting. And so Gates met with, it was reported in the New York Times, like in 2019, Gates met with Epstein a few times. The first time was in 2011.
This is what they say.
This is what they say. This is the first one of these latest ones that we know about.
Yeah, but I'm saying this isn't true because we know that
there's actually
Bill
another
Gates
one.
And Epstein have known each other for a very long time. But I'm saying the lamestream fake news media says this is their report that the first time that Gates met with Epstein
was
on January 31st, 2011.
With Eva Anderson Dubon. Dubon. And her 15-year-old daughter, who I assume was Selena. She had a couple of daughters.
Yes.
The one that was promised in marriage to Epstein. And the meeting took several hours. Oof. I think that's the one where there's an email from Bill Gates where he's like, he lives an interesting lifestyle. A beautiful Swedish woman was there.
Yeah.
Next time was in Long Beach during the TED conference there. And
oh my God.
Well, I guess Epstein was banned from the actual TED event, which is really funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I didn't pick that up because we talked about this a little bit. We did a little edge stuff in the MIT one. But I didn't know that he was banned from the TED because it's crazy because
you got to be a bad boy to be banned from a TED event.
I actually am banned from the TED event too. But not for sexual reasons.
For what?
Intellectual things.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They don't want me to, because
can't have big brain Belden at the TED event.
Yeah. Well, they call me the only non-racist red pill. And so they can't handle that kind of shit. And so this is when people gave a shit about Ted. It's fucking like 2011.
Oh my God, this was the year of the Ted. This is like when everyone loved Ted.
Yeah, exactly. During the conference, there was a dinner at a fancy restaurant. The Edge dinner organized by John Brockman, also Zero Professional Consequences. The famous billionaires dinner, which Epstein himself had funded for quite a while. And there was good pictures of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk.
And Sergey Brin, also Zero Professional Consequences.
Epstein was photographed there by Nathan Myhrvold, who used to be a Microsoft CTO, which is Chief Teenage Acquirer. And at this conference, or maybe at the dinner, Epstein, because I don't think there's pictures of Gates at the dinner, Epstein was seen chatting with Bill. So Epstein's actually introduced to Joy Ito at that little meeting there, the MIT Media Lab, by a woman named Linda Stone, who is on Twitter at Linda Stone, blue checkmark, Linda Stone. You can reach her on Twitter at Linda Stone, who was a Microsoft VP, who's also in the advisory council of the MIT Media Lab, and on Twitter as Linda Stone. She introduced Joy and Epstein with a stupid fucking email that just said intro and like tag both of them. She also organized Saifu, but Saifu is like a dude. I fucking hate these people.
Say it again.
Saifu. It's Saifu. Dude, why do I feel racist saying that?
It seems so weird. Why would you call something that?
I don't know.
Why would you call an event Saifu?
I don't know. You should ask Linda Stone on Twitter at Linda Stone about Saifu.
Is it literally just at Linda Stone?
Yeah. I'm looking at her right now. Busted.
Is she? Let's see. Hold on. Twitter.com/Linda Stone. One word.
I think she blocked me.
Oh, she got a mask on. She has a mask on in her profile pic.
Yeah, she does. She
that's the sign that pedophiles are doing.
Yeah. That's how they recognize each other.
Wait, why did she block you? Did you tweet at her?
Yeah, I might have said a couple of things.
You DM her?
Well, I don't DM women after the incident. No. I just asked
she
her.
wrote #belonging and the relationship to #fake news. This is a link to a New York Times piece called "Belonging is Stronger Than Facts."
Well,
I wonder if that has to do with when you're like within an in-group with someone and you refuse to see the facts about who they are and what they're capable of,
or their convictions, just 3 years earlier for having sex with or raping a child.
Your social networks are maybe a little bit more powerful than your moral compass at Linda Stone.
Yeah, she was pretty involved in the MIT. I read the report too about them kind of like trying to hide where their money came from, and she was working pretty close with Joy Ito about that as well. So the next meeting was in May, that's where the famous picture of Gates, James Staley, of Jason Morgan, JP Morgan. I just know a guy named Jason Morgan. I don't know why I said that. Gates and Nikolic was taken. So Epstein, of course, had helped James Staley's career, which we've covered, I believe. Yep. And Staley visited, of course, a couple times on his island. Last time was, I believe, in 2015 when he sailed his yacht there. An interesting thing about that, you don't have to have a little guest list like a fucking airplane.
Yeah. And no one's checking what's in those briefcases.
Nope. And that meeting was, and this was like one of the big ones that like sort of like set off the later meetings. That's what they kind of painted as, at least. Because let's be real. All of this was given to the New York Times by Gates people, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing that's been so fascinating. I mean, watching all of this kind of come back into the news and, so it's been about a year of Bill Gates being front and center. Like, if you think of Dr. Fauci, who, you know what?
Bryce Noise.
Still don't like that guy.
I hate Fauci.
Yeah, I don't trust him. Something's wrong with him. But he's like, he's just the spokesman. He's like when they throw Pompeo up on the news, right?
Exactly.
He's
Goebbels.
just... But so, you got Fauci and the other guy they're talking to about this whole COVID business.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Bill Gates.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
Yeah. Well, famous medical doctor Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Although I'll be real with you, like one of the big criticisms of Bill Gates that I and many people have is like, why is Bill Gates the health guy? He's like not a doctor or like expert on public health or anything. But I'll be real, haven't really had much faith in the doctors or experts in public health lately either. So...
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. But I'm just saying, he's been everywhere in the last year as like the guy.
Yeah.
helping with the vaccines. He's educating about vaccines. He's out there talking to the sickos like Oprah and Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
Brace noise. And, so he's been everywhere. And then, whoop, flip-ums. It's like a whole, like, whoop, whoop.
You know what they call this? They Cuomo'd him.
It's a bit of a Cuomo.
It's the purge.
Yeah, he got a little Cuomo. So now it's like whiplash. Bill Gates, asshole.
Yeah, because remember when all those freaking goddamn
maniacs,
psychos on goddamn TV were like, "Oh, dude, Cuomo, greatest governor ever. You got to read his book. Look how cute he is with his brother that he had sex with once when they were 17."
Remember that weird COVID mural he made?
No, the poster. You mean? Yeah, that thing was sick.
That was very weird.
Bizarre. The boyfriend cliff.
Yeah, it was very weird.
That's the cliff he throws your boyfriend off of if you're a 23-year-old intern at his office. Yeah, and then Bill Gates, same thing. I mean, like he's their fucking Lord and Savior, and then they threw him off a cliff, the boyfriend cliff.
Yeah, so it's been a little nutso, and it's funny because we were talking about this and all the news that was coming out, and it really reminded me of another billionaire bozo who also got divorced. Of course, Bezos.
Yeah.
And there's this great article that came out a while ago. I think it's an excerpt from a forthcoming book. Does that sound very professional?
Yeah.
A forthcoming book by Brad Stone. It's a piece in Bloomberg. We'll link to it. It's called, I really recommend reading this. The Untold Story of How Jeff Bezos Beat the Tabloids. And it's a really fascinating, I'm just going to summarize it, but it's a real fascinating look at how, because remember what happened with Bezos is, famously, a live girl.
Hi, a live girl.
A live girl.
What was it like? I want to have like a couple of drinks, but not get drunk.
We also did on the podcast. Remember you?
Yeah, I know, but no, I'm just thinking about this.
Like I want to feel you.
I want to I want to have sex with you for 10 minutes and then read the paper in the morning. It was the least.
Boomer Rupi Cow or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm a nasty woman. That's not Rupi Kaur, but let me try if I can do this from memory. I'm a nasty woman. I don't need no Cheeto dust, big bust, crusty ass president. I see Hitler in these streets. I'm a nasty woman. No, Rupi Kaur's was like, your fingers inside me.
Please stop it. Don't do it.
You're like curling nectar? Like a question mark. You will never get the nectar.
Oh my God.
You will not see.
When your fingers were dipped inside me.
Which is crazy because I fingered that bitch for like 30 minutes. And I got tired too.
I'm going to throw up. Anyway, this piece, it's all about how Jeff Bezos manipulated the press behind the scenes and basically had this kind of like PR war and not just managing the journalists and managing the leaks of the stories, but also like playing people off each other to his advantage. And it's just completely and totally fascinating. And Bezos, of course, is no stranger to the fake line news media as the owner. I don't even know what his official title is.
Comandante of the Washington Post.
Of the Washington Post, yeah. And Bill Gates is the same. A lot of people don't know this, but Bill Gates and, by that extension, Melinda Gates, the Gates Foundation, everyone knows about the crazy stuff that they're doing in Africa, and that's kind of become a little bit of a meme almost.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But true.
Yeah, but they spend a shit ton of money in the media and like funding the press and keeping negative stories out and really managing all this from behind the scenes.
They have a piece of like they've invested hundreds of millions of dollars into basically like every media company, from like Comcast to I think they have their own Guardian vertical. Like they fund TrueAnon. Well, he's like a $5 subscriber. But like they have their fingers on a lot of these pies. You sent me like a study, I think, on just like the Gates Foundation tentacles, and these guys fund a ton of shit. There's a pretty good episode of Citations Needed about like specifically like getting down to the actual level of like which publications and like the effect he's had on them. I mean, it's pretty fucking crazy. And so these guys know the goddamn media, right? And so that's when the original Epstein stories came out. I was like, well, there's only a few people who were at these meetings, right? And there's only a few people who would have access to Bill Gates's emails, which some of this shit was taken from, and that's Bill Gates's team.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is they're getting ahead of all of these stories by purposely leaking all of this shit. Now, this stuff that's coming out now seems probably to either be from some Gates Foundation employees that are loyal to Melinda or paid off by Melinda, or they're coming from the couple.
Yeah, I think they're coming from the couple. It's interesting. I mean, I have a couple ideas about this. I want to say that real quick, there's a great, in addition to what you said about the citations needed, there's a really fascinating piece in the Columbia Journalism Review.
That's the one you sent me, yeah.
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago. Tim Schwab, I think, wrote the piece. We can link to it. And it's a real interesting study into 20,000 charitable grants that the Gates Foundation made. About 250 million going into journalism, including BBC, NBC, Al Jazeera, ProPublica, National Journal, The Guardian, Univision, Medium, Financial Times, The Atlantic, Texas Tribune, Washington Monthly, Le Monde, and the Center for Investigative Reporting. Funds the New York Times, Neediest Cases funds media companies such as Participant. They're the ones who did the documentary Waiting for Superman. We talked about that in our episode about Bill Gates and his entire project for privatizing education in Washington. He also, at one point, the Gates Foundation commissioned the Leo Burnett Company, which is like one of the top, it's like a huge ad agency. They're like, I would say like top 5 firms in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mad Men style kind of ad agency.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Mad Men style kind of guy. Love bourbon. Cut that. Just keep going.
No, I wanted to make you feel comfortable with it.
Well, let me try it again.
No, I don't want you to. Okay. Anyway, the Gates Foundation commissioned this agency to create a news, like quote unquote news site. So it's like literally creating a fake news site to promote the success of their aid groups, with, kind of like immersive online experiences and all this kind of bullshit. Right. So they spend a shit ton of money, making sure that negative stories about Gates don't come out. And I think it's interesting because, Bill Gates himself has kind of had like a roller coaster of a kind of public facing career. Like after they used to call him like Monopoly Man. Remember the 90s and The Simpsons? Hated him.
But like he's been for like the past 15 years pretty untouchable.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like this was a total, he did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like the Gates Foundation and the philanthropic turn started because everyone hated him. And because there was all that stuff during the Microsoft hearings. Everyone thought he was being an asshole. The story about how he made his money with Microsoft is completely different than what people think. Like he literally is an asshole, probably monomaniacal, all this kind of stuff. And so he had to do so much personal reputation scrubbing and changing. And that's what the entire Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation really has become.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And was the purpose of
that and about releasing genetically modified mosquitoes in Burkina Faso.
Absolutely. So my whole point being that the underwriting of all of the media companies is a massive, if not the purpose of this kind of stuff. We always say that philanthropy is exists in order to fix the reputation. It's just reputational management for the bourgeoisie. And the Gates Foundation in this way is is really instructive. Well, and this divorce is kind of peeling that back.
It's also to advance their interests too. Gates obviously is that point has been made a million times, but Gates's wealth has multiplied by a factor of a lot. I don't know how to do that, but it's gone from $5 billion to $80 billion, something like that. Just in the time that he's had his foundation, where he pledged to give all his money away, which suck my fucking dick. This has been, now Gates is seen as the global health guy when he's actually a piece of shit who probably allegedly by others, not by me, had sex with teenagers at Jeffrey Epstein's house when he stayed late on several occasions.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I think a lot of people, even when they think like, oh, well, you know, Bill Gates met with Epstein, like blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, from what we know about Bill Gates is like Bill Gates seems to be all these stories now coming about how he's awkwardly tried to pick up girls who work at Microsoft, including pretty soon after he got together with Melinda. And was very awkward about it. He would send them emails being like, hey, I thought you were good at the meeting. Would you like to get dinner with me? If this is weird, please ignore it.
Classic move.
Classic move.
Fellas, don't do that.
Absolutely do that. In fact, do that to Liz. I think because he talks about how he's intrigued by Epstein's lifestyle, how it's not for him, but you know, he found it very interesting. I think he was going over.
What could you find interesting about it?
I'll tell you exactly what he found interesting about it. He found interesting about it the fact that he could fuck like young girls with none of that like awkward emailing kind of stuff. They would just go to him.
Okay, hey, hot tip. Again, blue checkies out there, journalists, the little suckers listening. This is what you do. Hey, I'm going to interview Bill Gates. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is me being you, by the way.
Yeah, you're Ezra Klein.
Yeah. Interview Bill Gates and be like, hey, Bill, I got questions about the COVID, the corona.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the corona.
Yeah.
And then, bam, hit him with, hey, what did you mean that you found Epstein's lifestyle interesting? What was interesting about it?
Oh, well, he actually has answered that question before. And you know what he said?
What did he say?
The decor. Let me tell you about the decor of Jeffrey Epstein's mansion.
Wait, like the eyeballs?
The eyeball hallway? Or maybe the, like, stuffed dog? Or the woman the blow-up dolls hanging from the ceilings?
There's Ghislaine titty pictures. Do you like those?
Well, from what I've seen on the internet, it seems like a lot of people like a certain one of those, which I think is Photoshop. Got massive jugs. So, and here's the other thing too: is Melinda also went to Epstein's house?
Yeah, that's the thing, Melinda.
You're there.
You're not escaping us, TrueAnon. We got the third eye, maybe.
Liz, you know? What would you do if I was like, oh, dude, tonight, LA, let's go to my friend Brian Singer's house? You'd probably be like, isn't that guy a pedophile, allegedly? Not by me?
Yeah.
And not go, right?
And I wouldn't let you go.
Yeah. And you divorce me?
Yeah. And
it's just for insurance, we're married.
But then I would tell the journalist to then report on it so that I could get more of your money.
Well, here's a little thing you journalists might have missed. Is that according to France Info, which is like France's sort of public radio broadcasting thing, Epstein's French house manager, his place on Avenue Foch, Avenue Foch in Paris. Well, how do you pronounce it? You're just, here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. She's just going to keep laughing and like I'm stupid. And so that I'll eventually have to move on. So there's not dead air and she won't have to answer that question of how to pronounce it. How do you pronounce it?
Let's move on.
Avenue Foch. Foch. This guy says, according to the house manager, who's last name we don't know, his first name's Gabriel. He says that Bill and Melinda Gates met up with Epstein there in 2013.
Ooh,
that is not reported in the New York Times article.
That's not what the fake news media in America says.
Also, he claims that Bannon slept there several times during that time. Steve Bannon, yep. Which, I believe it.
Yeah, that man's everywhere. A little cockroach.
2013 too. Apparently he
rare bit.
Here's something I did not remember reading before because I'd seen this article before, but I didn't remember this part. Epstein had met Jack Lang, the former Socialist Party Minister of Culture and National Endowment, at a party held in honor of Woody Allen at the Parisian home of the Princess of Bourbon of the Two Sicilies, who's married to a Bonaparte. Can you imagine that party?
There's still Bonapartes?
Yeah. Apparently they're boning part of the fucking royal house of Bourbon.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that weird though?
That's
it's like
weird.
Bourbons and didn't you guys do the restoration thing? I mean, maybe it's like a weird branch of it. But like also, why is Woody Allen having a party being thrown for him by the
COVID
House of Bourbon? No, this was in 2013.
I like that, right? Those,
but yeah. So now we have all these details about affairs and attempted affairs, and we're learning that Epstein. Misspoke. that Gates, although maybe not so much of a difference between the two, stepped down from his position as on the board of Microsoft because of an investigation about sexual impropriety.
Oh, yikes.
So he is denying that. He was saying it's to focus more on his foundation. Listen, let me tell you, whenever anyone's like, I'm stepping down on this to focus on this, that means I rape somebody.
Yeah.
Like
no one's focusing on their family.
Nobody's focusing on their family.
They don't want to go home.
You don't want to go home. You hate your family. You literally are divorcing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it'd be interesting. I mean, part of me is like, okay, Melania. I mean, that Melinda, excuse me. Part of me thinks that Melinda, okay, she's going to just keep this going until she gets whatever she wants. Who knows? I don't want to take a side because I hate both these fuckers. But I do kind of hope more news comes out.
Absolutely.
And if you're, again, blue checky simp journalist listening to this, hey, go do your jobs. Go get some news for us.
Yeah, go. Here's the thing. Access journalist means that you have to be like, damn, Melinda, you look so good for your age. That's crazy. Ha ha ha. I love malaria or whatever you're into. Did your husband a pedophile?
But also, like, are you?
Also, like, are you also a pedophile?
Yeah. See, look, this is what we do. We do your jobs for you.
Exactly. Because I'm asking you this. Melinda, straight up, is your husband a pedophile? Bill, I'm not asking you for that because I think you are one.
Yeah. AMA.
Yeah. Also, Bill, if you're reading this, how come the speakers on my computer don't work? I do have Windows 10.
Dude, why do you have that?
Why do you have that? We had to buy you. All right, when we plugged my computer in the internet, just bam, there's a port in this part of the internet. Well, you had to go get a dongle.
Yeah, I did.
I never have to get dongles. That's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, Bill Gates, piece of shit, probably a pedophile. Allegedly. We didn't even get into all his fucking health stuff, but ladies and gentlemen, you know about all that shit. And he
can suck my fucking dick.
Liz, I'm so excited to go with you to Chateau Marmont.
I thought you wanted to go. We can go.
What is it a hotel? Why would you go?
It's just like a hotel bar. The restaurant's not good. The bar, I mean,
they have like ginger ale?
There's Bar Marmont, which is kind of like a little bridge and tunnel, and then the Chateau. They have a bar inside.
What does bridge and tunnel mean?
It's like people come in from that don't live there, and they come in.
I don't live in Chateau Marmont.
No, it's
okay. Yeah. Oh, it's like a New York thing. Like I'm coming from freaking New Jersey.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's go there. We're going to the Hollywood sign. We are going.
You're going to jump off of it naked.
We are taking a picture at a disgraced former TV star's Hall of Fame star on Hollywood Boulevard.
And then I'm going to apologize for it. Never.
And then and then we are going to. So my friend died, and we're going to go take his body to the desert to burn it.
That's awful.
Yeah. Well,
why would you say that?
He was a big, just rock and roll cowboy, baby.
I like being down here. You know what I got to say?
No.
Oh.
I didn't. What do you got to say?
I really like recording in person.
I know. Yeah. It's just so gay. I feel like, here's the thing. On the internet, we're like, you finish the sentence and then I finish the sentence. And then here it's like, we're going to rap.
Tell them.
What part of that is a secret?
Because I feel bad because then people feel like, oh, I know.
You don't know. I'm just kidding. We're actually, here's the thing, we've been pranking y'all the whole time.
Yeah.
And
you got pranked. You're punked.
We're actually right now.
Hey, I'm Dax Shepard. You punked.
We're actually right now on Skype. I am in where is the island? Bali? And Liz is on...
I'm in
Shanghai. And so, Liz, stop fucking with the mic so much. Look at that. Yes! That sound that felt so good to do.
I get fidgety. I like to touch things.
Well, there's a bunch of really expensive things on that side of the... Like my... No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. That's my range card. Don't touch that.
You look like a Pepe.
No, dude. They had to take that picture. It's a range card for San Leandro.
Your face is all Pepe.
We got to end the episode.
Okay. I'm Liz.
My name's Brace. We are joined by producer Young Chomsky.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.